Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I didn't know so many things. So, how are we doing so far? Everyone was here yesterday? Yes? Are you excited to be here? Are you sure? Good. Let's hope we can excite you a little bit more with the things we're going to be doing today. The name of this theme is American cooking, or what's the name? Well, what is American cuisine? And here you have José Andrés with a heavy accent getting into this kind of question, what is American cuisine? Hello, Mr. Rick Tramonto, how are you? Nice seeing you. Let me tell you how this started for me. I came to United States almost 19 years ago. And I came to help as a cook to open a Spanish restaurant in New York. And what I found was not that there still was a lot of room for Spanish cooking and Spanish chefs in America, and that's why I love it. Still I have work today thanks to that. It's a lot of room. But for me what was unbelievable is all the new things I started learning by watching what was happening in many kitchens across America. The first kitchen I worked in the States that had nothing to do with Spain or my roots was the Guilty Giraffe in the Sony building. The Guilty Giraffe, without a doubt, by many was one of the great restaurants, late 80s, early 90s, in Manhattan, probably in America. And the chef was Barry Wine. And while he was doing things that had influence of Japan, to me that was like the first time I saw what American cooking could become. And so many chefs. What happened was that when I opened Minibar 8-9 years ago, Minibar is a 6-seat restaurant, Washington, D.C., with me and my team. We cooked for 12 people every day. We were trying to do modern interpretations of Spanish dishes. And I will tell the person, Madam, here you have your gazpacho. And the person will ask, what? You don't know what gazpacho is? No, I don't. I cannot believe it. Well, that was happening. I cannot try to serve a modern dish and try to make a statement if the person you're trying to establish the conversation, the customer, doesn't know where you are coming from or where the dish is coming from. So if I try to do a new gazpacho, a new tomato soup, but the person really doesn't know the traditional, it's really not a lot of fun. The dish may be good, but the person is not going to understand the whole lesson behind of what we are trying to do. That's when we began making certain interpretations of American dishes. New England clam chowder, eggs and ham, corn on the cob, the Tom Collins. For me, it's been a great game, and all of a sudden, when I explain a dish to anyone coming to Minibar, I don't need to tell them 1 hour story lesson on my country, but the communication begins automatically. Are you with me? So, what first dish are we doing?
Which one you want to do?
No, go quick. I don't know. I don't have time to choose.
Okay, let's start with corn on the cob, yeah?
Corn on the cob. Ladies and gentlemen, every team, more often than not, that's the way life is sometimes, has the name of the chef. And well, I believe the best asset I have today over my last 18 years is all the amazing team I've been very lucky to be building around everything I do. Ruben Garcia in the creative side. Without him, today I wouldn't be doing, or I've never been able to do what I've done in the last year. So the team is as important as we know as a chef. So big round of applause to Ruben Garcia. Much of what you see today here is thanks to him. So what are we doing?
Corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob.
Oh, sorry.
What?
New England clam chowder.
Okay, New England clam chowder. Who knows how to make a New England clam chowder? All right, that's good. What I did for
Okay.
the New England
I need
clam
everything
chowder,
from
we
New England
had,
clam chowder.
I was invited at
England clam chowder.
Gramercy Tavern by
Here?
Tom Colicchio to come. And I was like, man, all the American chefs
Set
are
up
doing
everything there,
Spanish
set the
dishes all the
presentation
time for
there.
me.
We'll show the-
I'm gonna make this time an American dish from, you know, a Spaniard making an American dish.
exactly.
So I went to Gramercy Tavern and we made
Exactly.
this New England clam chowder. Same flavors. We're gonna show you what we did to try to establish the connection, never losing the history behind it, but trying to move forward. So over here,
You want to start with clams?
we are gonna start with the most important ingredient in the clam chowder, which is the clams. What we do with the clams is this. Traditionally, we will get the clams, and this is a great technique if you never had the time to learn it. You put them in the water, 1 to 3 seconds, and you take them out. The clam is kind of raw, but maintains almost the look of fresh. It's very good. It's a good way to open the clams. But more often than not, 1 second too much allows the water to get into the clam. So what we start doing is putting them in these vacuum bags, seal them, then we introduce them in the water. How long? 4, 5, 10, 15 seconds, depend the clam. Obviously, it's different size of clams that are thicker, bigger. You need to play with your clams. This one is 15 seconds. This is a great technique because it really allows you to somehow cook the clam but maintain almost its natural, fresh, raw look. And when you open a clam raw, never looks like a whole perfect clam. When you do it this way and you clean the clam is perfect. It's perfect. It didn't lose its form, but it still is raw. So you see, the clams are out very quick. We open the bag to make sure that the cooking inside doesn't overcook the clams. And then take a look what Ruben is doing. We open it very carefully. And I guarantee you that if you're going to be working with shellfish, clams, mussels, this is the best simple technique to maintain the natural fresh flavor of the clam, and you'll always have great results. What we were looking with this clam chowder is that usually all the New England clam chowders, they're great, but to me they have an issue, is that the clams are already unbelievably overcooked. So our main issue was, can we do a flavorful clam chowder maintaining the freshness and the integrity of the clam? That's what we did. So now we have the clams open. We get the water of the clams. And what we're going to be doing with the clams is spherify. Who knows about spherify? Who heard about spherify? Raise your hands. Good. It's a lot of people still that, and whoever made spherify.
That's already finished.
Good. This is a great technique. And obviously a technique really fully developed by Ferran Adrià, like many of the great new techniques in the last 5-10 years. And spherify, what it's going to help us do very quickly is, next to the clam, what is the most flavorful thing? The water of the clam. What's happening when you open an oyster or you open a clam? That the water separates from the clam, yes? So for a second, we are trying to tell the water and the clam, babies, we want to put you together again. How do we achieve that? Spherify. So here what we did was, we get the clam water over here. We add the sodium arginate. We mix it. We let it rest. If you don't know what sodium arginate is, don't worry. In Google, plenty of information. And so we introduce it into this water bath. You can see here in the camera. In this water bath, you have calcium chloride. That's a salt of calcium. That what happens is a chemical reaction between the arginate and the calcium. So it gelatinizes. So what's happening is that we are going to be able to achieve a gel, like a skin, around the water of the clam. Inside the clam, liquidy and only a very thin shell, maintaining the water and the clam together. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can see it here. Can we get closer with the camera? Can you see the clam right here? This clam has been made into spherify, the clam inside the water water and clam, again, reunited without having to go through church. Very, very good way to maintain the integrity of a product. Yeah. So here we're going to put touches of things that are part of our clam chowder. We're going to do this puree of bacon. We are putting this puree of onion, traditional New England clam chowders. We have bacon, we have onion. Here we put in two purees. The light one is the bacon, the very heavy one is the onion. In traditional French, we will call it a sous vide puree. Never, we can never forget the traditional names that come from the past. And here what you have is a warm potato espuma. It's a foam of potato we make with a little bit of the potatoes, water, a little bit of cream. And we are able to heat it up. This is this ISI whipper. You can put it in a bain-marie, and it's the best mashed potato you can make. They are very light and very flavorful. On top, we put a little bit of chive oil. We are going to add more potatoes. In this case, we are making a brunoise of potato, and we deep fry it. And just to finish, we're going to put some onion touches, onion sprouts. Let me put my touch. Well, traditionally, you may or may argue that a clam chowder will or will not have oil. I cannot help myself, and I love oil. And the best is when I can meet fat and oil. Then I'm in heaven. And with the same oil of making the onions, you can always add a touch of the oil. Ladies and gentlemen, our interpretation of the New England clam chowder. Good? Next.
Corn on the cob.
Eh? Okay. What is more American than corn on the cob? Who agrees with me? Hello? Agree with me, people. There's too many foreigners around here. What's happening? Corn on the cob. I've been 17 years in DC, next to beautiful Maryland, next to beautiful Virginia. Corn is everywhere, and corn on the cob is like simple. So, I remember 14 years ago that Nora Puyon, to me, next to Alice Waters, the two organic queens of America, Nora Puyon, an excellent chef in DC, took me to a market in Pennsylvania, actually, to visit Tuscarora Farms, a great group of farmers that united in a cob. And I met this guy, this Amish guy, who had the baby corns growing, and I told him, I want you to sell them to me, because I don't want to pay $1 when they send them to me from California and New York. I want to pay 5 or 10 cents, which is the same. They sell you the big one. No, he told me, no, $1. But hold on, the big one is 5. Why the small one is 1? I mean, 5 cents to $1, only because it's small. I couldn't understand. So then next year, I guess, he had enough time to think about it, and he called me. Say, okay, Jose, 10 cents. I say, all right. So we start working a lot with corn, baby corn. So baby corn is excellent. So if baby corn is so good and comes from organic farm, why do you want me to be messing with the corn? Because the dish you're going to see is not corn anymore. And I know some of you, I hear more often than not, and sometimes I feel attacked. I take things very personal. That they tell me, well, I'm only using the products as they come from the farm. I don't like to mess with them like other chefs do. Well, we don't mess with them. My mom does the corn saute at home. She knows how to do that. I want to do something else. In my restaurants that I do a lot of covers, I may do baby corn. Saute only. But at minibar, if you are coming to minibar, I need to try to push a little bit the envelope. I believe that's my mission as a chef. I guarantee you the dish is good. So please call for reservations. Even it's only 12 seats, so don't call all at once. Let's see how we did corn on the cob. And this is a very recent addition. Ruben has been working on that dish for a few weeks, and this is an amazing new way to show you how a tradition with the same ingredients can be unbelievable. So first what we do is we get the baby corn. Get close to me, don't be afraid. So you see, we get the baby corn. And what we do with the peeler, that's an expensive one. There's no food cost here, okay? And what we do is we take out the kernels of the baby corn. Are you able to see it? Are you able to see it? Great. So what we really do here now is this. Once we have the kernels, to make one dish, we need like probably 6, 7, 8 baby corn to make one portion. Probably 10. Yeah. To make one portion, we need 10 baby corn. So that's why, for me, negotiating the price was a very important thing, as I hope you understand. So the first thing we're going to be doing now is mixing what we call methyl cellulose. It's an agent that comes from cellulose that for us is great because jellifies in contact with heat. So methyl cellulose, if anyone here is going to be writing, oh, these people in the StarChefs are using weird ingredients, people, this comes from the tree, so relax, all right? Comes from natural things. No, I'm not looking at you, Mr. Garten. I'm not looking at you. You're the good, you're great with us. We love you, Jeffrey. So, I wanna mention here we have one of the most important persons to me because I'm a Spaniard, and one of the most important persons for Spain. Without him, Spain wouldn't be today in the culinary world. Juan Maria Arzac, the father of the Spanish Revolution.
Can you move this?
Over there. Juan Mari, levántate. Without people like him, we wouldn't be here, people. Let's go quick. So, we did the methyl cellulose, we mix it with water. The water and the methyl cellulose are gonna speak to each other, they're gonna feel good, it's gonna rest in the refrigerator. Next day, we mix the corn, baby corn kernels with the methyl cellulose, okay? Again, it's a jellifying agent, that's it. And has no flavor, so it's great. Allow us to put back together every single kernel. Are you able to see it? So take a look at what Ruben is doing. He's making this very thin film of the baby corn kernels. Are you following me? Are you sure? Okay, because next step is very important. Take a look at what we have here in this big tapioca. You know, it's great when you go to restaurants and weird places checking the new things. So, you know, by having that tapioca tea and using the straw, we thought one day, wow, we need something like looks like that straw. We went, we bought those straws, perfect. What you see over here, we make it, is corn water. We get, you know, all the corn, and we kind of, take out all the pure essence that is attached to the corn husk inside once you clean corn.
Juice it.
And it's pure corn, fresh water. And we add agar. Agar is great because we know it's a gelatin that can be heated. It's a gelatin that is being used for many years, for many centuries in Asia, and it's a way to create hot gelatins. You can heat that almost to 80 Celsius degrees. So what we did was, we put inside that beautiful agar gelatin, base of corn, and we roll over, and at the end, ladies and gentlemen, can you give me a fresh one very quick?
Give me a fresh.
Take a look how they look equal. It's very difficult, really, sometimes when we put one to each other in a plate to know which one is the made by us and which one is the real one made by God. But I can guarantee you that the one made by us, it's at very least as good as the other, if not better. So if anyone wants to be criticizing it, I'm telling you it's as good, if not better. So what we do is very simple. We're gonna cook it like if you will cook baby corn. And this is the great thing of the methyl cellulose. Now that it's gonna be receiving the heat, kind of jellifies. So the texture is very nice. Almost it's like when you eat this, it's like if you are eating a very liquidy baby corn, but with all the flavor of the cornfields, all the flavor of the cornfields. So we sear it, it's gonna get color in one side. Again, this is very delicate. We only make this for 12 people a day, 5 days a week. And then I need to give them 2 months off every year. So you
Not to me.
No, not to you. No. Okay, so can we go plating? Filling.
Start plating.
So you see how beautiful is the color. Once you cook it, really looks like baby corn. It's really astonishing. Astonishing. So in what you see in the plate now, can you follow me here? Is what we call a fresh corn polenta. And you will not see me using many Italian names often, but we get fresh corn, we peel it, we blend it, we strain it, and we cook it until the corn starts thickening. To me, it's the best polenta in the world. When you make this kind of very thick puree out of fresh corn. We put the fresh corn in the bottom, and we are adding a touch of huitlacoche. That's a matter in what part you are in America. Sometimes you go to the fields and you open a husk, and the huitlacoche shows up there. So it shows up so much sometimes that I thought, this belongs to America. Forget Mexico. This belongs to America. We put the huitlacoche because it's the way to add this kind of earthy, very deep, earthy flavor, almost smoky, like if you are grilling the corn on the cob, yes? It's great to see you again, Mr. Norman Van Aken. That's the father of American cooking in the United States. A big round of applause to Norman Van Aken here. So, so we put the baby corn right underneath. We have cream of bacon. We put a touch of a cream of bacon, and we are gonna put some acidity. We put some segments of lime used to ring and break all the sweetness of the corn. Corn can be the most astonishing sweet thing in the history of mankind and beyond. We know it. Everything is made out of corn that we like. So it's very sweet thing. So here we're gonna put, if we had, we will put some corn sprouts. We have corn sprouts?
No, we don't have it.
And we are putting a little bit of, sometimes we like to put a little bit of cilantro, and we couldn't get corn sprouts. But you have to imagine, the corn water, the baby corn, the corn puree, the huitlacoche, this to me is a great way to give an homage to the great corn on the cob I've eaten in Maryland and Virginia for the last 16 years. Ladies and gentlemen, corn on the cob.
Vamos rápido. ¿El huevo?
Eh? So, how many of you eat eggs and ham in the morning for breakfast? Come on, don't lie, people. It's good. Would you say that eggs and ham, if you are in Virginia, with a great Virginia ham, will not be an American classic? Anyone disagrees? Good, disagree after the thing, please. Let me look good. So we're gonna make eggs and ham. But the eggs, to me, to go to the farmer's market and buy the great organic eggs is not challenge anymore. And I mean that in a good way. You go to the market, and if you arrive early, you have organic eggs. You pay your $5 or $10, you break the bank account, but we'll have the best eggs possible. What are we doing is pushing the eggs forward, or the eggs forward. How did we do this? And how do we honor what I would say an American breakfast classic right now, eggs and ham? So take a look. We made our own egg. And that doesn't mean that we do like the chickens, we sit down and we wait and we release. Nope. We made our own egg. Let me show you how we made our own egg. First, we made a consomme. Everyone knows what a consomme is? We made a ham consomme. And I'm very lucky because I am able to use many of the Ibérico ham bones I have. So my consomme, I can guarantee you, is excellent. So we make this ham bone consomme, which is very powerful, very savory, with a lot of deepness of flavor. Here you have a ham. He's very shy. He will not say hi to you, but if you want, come after. He loves when people talk to him. This is the Ibérico ham that we use to make the consomme, yeah? And what we're gonna be doing, once we have that consomme, is we're gonna be getting the consomme, and we're gonna start mixing it with xanthan gum. If you don't know what xanthan gum is, don't worry, but it's a bacteria that when it's too much produces something. That something is xanthan gum. Are you with me? So it's a natural byproduct produced by a bacteria, yes? So Shantan what is great is that you are able to thicken liquids cold and very quickly. So if one day you have a sauce that is too runny and you want to thicken without having to reheat the sauce, you put little bit, very little of Shantan gum, and you're gonna start getting a very nice thickness. The same for dressings, vinaigrettes. So it's a very unique technique, and believe me, if you go to many healthy stores, they always have Shantan gum. No one seems to buy it, but it's 10 times better than cornstarch.
The eggs are ready.
Okay, so what we do with the spherification is this. We get the consomme, we mix the Shantan gum, we mix another ingredient called, it's one calcium that is made out of two. Calcium of gluconate, that's the name for you to know, and calcium of lactate. At the end, what this is calcium, like the same calcium they tell you is in the yogurt, but this calcium doesn't add any flavor. So we mix the consomme, the Shantan gum, that what we call gluco, this glucolactate and gluconate, and we add the most important thing, egg white powder. Egg white powder. So again, we have the consomme, egg white powder, and those two powders that are going to help us to thicken this consomme. So we have the consomme here to show them. Yeah. So the consomme is here. Where is my man? Come here first. Come here. Follow me here. That's the consomme. You see the color. Yes, very good, very tasty. Oh my God, it's good. Are we making one? Yep. Yeah. So this is already cold. Here you have the liquid. I need you next to me with this, yes? Go to you. And take a look what we do. We get the consomme, big spoon. And you see what we have over here? This is an egg quail yolk. It's an egg quail yolk. We are putting it inside the consomme that has the dry white egg powder. And we introduce it inside this bath with alginate. Alginate, again, is a powder of seaweed from a seaweed called kelp. All right? If you want to know more, Google. So we introduce it in the water, and we're going to wait a few minutes. This is, again, another espherification, but we are making our own egg. In this case, we create the egg white. It's going to be here for a few minutes, and when it's ready, we are going to take it out. And here, you see the egg. Can you see it? Put it here. If we get a knife, you see that we break it. Okay, we get this egg, and we introduce it into this hot bath. And we are going to cook it for how long? 15 minutes during around 70 Celsius degrees, right under the coagulation point of the egg white and the egg yolk. When we take it out, what we have is a perfectly poached egg with a self-made egg white with a flavor of ham. I tried to achieve the same, giving the chickens ham consomme, but they wouldn't drink it. So we took this other road, was quicker, yes? So to finish the dish, we're gonna make some bread. We love in Spain, and that's bringing a little bit of my Latino in me to America. We love bread, and also we will eat with muffins with the eggs, right? Same thing. We get some bread that we slice very, very thin with the help of the mandolin or the slicer, and then a little bit of oil, and we let the bread kind of get very crunchy. Can you come here, sir? I'm making you work, I'm sorry. Can we give a big round of applause here to Mr. Cameraman? He's really doing great. I mean, to have this here for hours and hours is tough, guys. So here we have the bread already, nice and crispy. Nice and crispy. We're gonna put it on top. already we have this very unique, a lot of finesse in the bread. I mean, we need to understand that even something so everyday like bread can be excellent or can be terrible. If we get a good bread and we slice it very, very thin, and we achieve this kind of smokiness with the help of the oil, crispy, when you put it in the mouth and disappears, is the best way that you can treat even a humble product like bread. Sometimes it's why we don't need to be thinking about truffles or be thinking about the most expensive caviars. Sometimes we need to go back to the basics of getting a little piece of bread and asking yourself, what can I do today with this piece of bread that can be better than what I know? And if you ask yourself those questions, it's a great challenge to keep moving forward with everyday simple ingredients. So here, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be too chauvinistic, but I love Virginia ham. I have many friends from Virginia. I had many times Virginia ham, but this ham is from Spain, but I'm going to call him Virginia. The Ibérico ham is unbelievable with its omega-3 fatty acid, and this company, for me, is really doing an amazing job with bringing this ham. So we are going to put pieces of the ham, very tiny, and we're going to be finishing the dish right away. A little bit more. And then at the end, guys, what we have really is a simple, great ham and eggs, a touch of the oil. When you eat the eggs, the egg yolk should be perfectly and runny. The egg white is full of ham flavor. If you eat an egg white from a regular egg, and you eat this egg white, without a doubt, you will vote for this egg first. So, ladies and gentlemen, ham and eggs. Okay, we have, are we doing okay? Everyone is okay with the accent? I can put more accent. I mean, you tell me. So now we are going to make something that I think we do in America and we do in the States, which is, we do in America and in the States, no, we do in America and in Spain. Or something like eggnog. Eggnog. Everyone recognizes eggnog. Holidays. Everyone love it. So this is our interpretation of eggnog. You know, we know this meal made with cream and milk, sugar, the egg, cinnamon, nutmeg. Everyone knows, right? But I'm reading because I'm not so sure I know. So we put some rum, maybe brandy, maybe whiskey, maybe, yes, bourbon, why not? So first we're going to be, is this the egg yolk? Yep. So what you see here is the egg yolk. The yellow thing. It's easier to say yellow than yolk. The yellow thing of the egg, yes? And here, what we have is vanilla, we have nutmeg, we have rum, we put a little bit of water, and we put some sugar, and the egg yolks, yes? And I broke it, great. And thank you for telling me. And we're gonna cook it in the circulator around 70, at 70 Celsius degrees. Sorry, I have a hard time with Fahrenheit. I think we should change Fahrenheit to Celsius. Yeah. We need to tell that to Mr. Obama for the next election. And we put it inside and we cook it. Yeah? Sorry, we've been doing this in different ways. What we do is we put the eggs and we cook the whole eggs in the circulator, yes? And we cook them again for 25 minutes at 70 degrees. We open the eggs, and what's happening with the egg yolk inside is that it has a very shiny, almost like yellow, like more like Play-Doh. Play-Doh, you call it in your language? The play thing, Play-Doh, has a very funny texture because the egg yolk has not coagulated yet. So we take that and we mix that with the vanilla, the nutmeg, brandy, the cinnamon, and here we have our own mix. Take a look at the viscosity. Has a very nice creamy texture. very playful, very tasty on its own already, yeah? And we're gonna put it into this bowl. And then we get some liquid nitrogen, the bad boy of modern cooking. A great way to freeze. And we're gonna start adding, and take a look at what the density that this egg yolk is gonna achieve. It's gonna get very frozen, but because egg yolk has a lot of fat, it's gonna remain very, very cold, but like a very smooth ice cream. You're gonna be asking yourself, Jose, why you don't do this with an ice cream machine? Ain't the same. This way works unbelievably well. The liquid nitrogen makes sure that the ice crystals are very, very small. So makes a very unique kind of ice cream of egg yolk. Are you with me? Yeah. So can I get you here again? A little bit more. And take a look at the density of this, yeah? Very important. Vamos ya con el shell. Vale. Venga. So what I can tell you is that this already has the flavors of the traditional eggnog on its own. A little bit more. Venga. So over there, we're going to start plating the dish. And to make this dish, we're going to do something with the liquid nitrogen that I think is the most interesting of this dessert, which is we're going to make an eggshell. But here, to start plating, we're going to be putting a praline of walnuts that we made. Use walnuts and sugar and water. We have the praline right here. Right here, right in the bottom, we have a coconut kind of flan. It's like we get coconut puree, dry coconut, a little bit of gelatin, and we make this very unique density look-alike coconut. Very smooth, very earthy, like all coconut are. We're gonna be putting these touches of ginger, caramelized ginger, 2, 3, 4 touches. We already put the walnut praline, which is the brown thing you see over here. We are putting a little bit of the English Mardon salt, nice crystal, very crunchy. Really, we really love it. Is the walnut powder?
Walnut powder.
That's what you see that he's adding right now is a walnut powder that we mix with maltodextrin, and we achieve this very unique powdery look-alike walnut. Really very tasty. And just to finish, we're going to be making very quick the shell. So.
No, pero vamos a hacer el nest.
Yeah, make the shell. Start making it.
Yeah.
Hazlo ya. Hazlo ya.
Over here.
So over here,
Okay, Jose.
get here with me. Hold on 1 second. We are putting these kind of crystals
I need you to add more here.
of sugar crystallized with vanilla and the other flavors we've been playing around. That we add 2 or 3. You see a lot of little details to achieve a lot of different textures and flavors into this dish. So take a look what's happening here now. We're gonna make a nest with chocolate. Take a look, it's water and ice, and you just use tempered chocolate with a little bit of cocoa butter and cocoa powder, gets thicker. And take a look in the moment he's gonna be putting that over the water. This is a great way to make a nest. 24, 25 years ago, I was in El Bulli, and Alberto Adrià was working with something like that 25 years ago on top of a piece of ice that he put out of the freezer. He got chocolate, and he started making what he called those nests. This looks really like a nest. It's a slightly different technique, but take a look how beautifully is what you can be achieving with simple chocolate, simple cocoa butter, and simple cocoa powder. You take it off the water very quick, and you see a very delicate nest made out of 3 simple chocolate everyday ingredients, and water and ice. This is also to show you that we don't need everything unbelievably high-tech to be achieving still very unique things with everyday ingredients. Sometimes we need to stop looking so far away, and we need to remind ourselves that by looking with the everyday things we have, in front of us, still, it's a lot of room for innovation and coming up with new things. So we get the nest and we put it in cocoa powder, and now we're gonna finish the dish as we speak. Yeah. One. We're gonna put that in the bottom of the plate, and we're gonna make very quick the shell. And we have 5 minutes, Ruben. Ladies and gentlemen, another important member of the team, Brad. He's been with me at Minibar for many years. Again, always celebrating the team. Okay, so let's make the shell right away. And I know many of you are going to be asking, Jose, you have the two guys working and you talking and not doing it. Yes, I don't do it because half of the things I don't know how to do them. And I mean that into a very realistic thing. Yes, I know how to do them. But when these guys and the guys you have around you are doing something 1,000 times, you know, we're going to be seeing Morimoto, great with the knife and great with the way he treats fish, like if he's in love with the fish. Well, repetition does better, but sometimes I talk more than I repeat. So they are extraordinarily good in making those sometimes unbelievably difficult things. So take a look at the shell very quick. You see the spoon we have over there, looks like a shell of an egg. We're trying for someone to make us something look alike, like we look like half eggshell. We need you right there, forget me. I look like an egg, but, so, yeah, I tell him, look at the egg. So you see the spoon, metal, very cold. There we have coconut, pure coconut milk. And take a look what happened in the moment. This is what happened when we improvise live. I think next year I'm making videos. Antoinette, don't get mad at me. Next year we come with videos already made. So I guess I'm not invited next year. All right, so you put the spoon, you put it in the cocoa, and take a look what happened. In the moment you put it again back in the liquid nitrogen, the change in temperature makes the coconut milk already frozen to separate from the spoon. You leave a little bit more in the liquid nitrogen to make sure it really gets very cold. And all of a sudden, what is fascinating is that we are able to make a shell out of a liquid. And to me, when we are looking for ways to make things lighter, nothing can beat creating shells that are liquid, but that has the texture of something thick. So we have the shell. We get this beautiful eggnog we made here with this very unbelievable frozen texture. We put it in the middle of the egg, look-alike coconut shell. We put it on top. And ladies and gentlemen, here you have our interpretation with a touch of nutmeg to end of our eggnog. We have 2 minutes. ¿Cuál es el último?
Tom Collins. Tom Collins.
¿Cuál?
Tom Collins.
Okay. Who is ready for drinks? We're going to make a Tom Collins. We have 2 minutes or no? 2 minutes for a Tom Collins. So everyone knows what a Tom Collins is. Some of you had Tom Collins yesterday and don't remember anything today. Good. So when we talk about cocktails, it's many ways that you can really do the cocktails. You can have the barman, the bartender making the cocktails.
Where's the cocktail?
Or you can have the chef making the cocktails. Not drinking them, but making them. If he drinks them, food doesn't go out. So here is our interpretation of the Tom Collins. We know it's an American classic. The first book was in 1876. The Jerry Thomas, the Bartender's Guide, is the first time that recipe show up in print in America. And the ingredients, you know, we're going to be using this dry gin. This one, I've never had it before, but my guys are telling me it's unbelievable. Blue coat, American, very dry, very unique. And what we did here was a Tom Collins mix. And once we have the Tom Collins mix with lemon, etc., what we did was an espherification. Already we did 2. We do an espherification that we have it right here. You see it? You see the espherification? This is the espherification of a Tom Collins. But we want to bring some fish, some sparkliness into this espherification. How do we do this? We get these beautiful ISI bottles. We put different espherifications of the original Tom Collins inside.
Yes.
We put a little bit of the liquid, not much. We close it. And we are going to put chargers of CO2. All right? CO2 chargers, the same chargers that we make soda. You know what's happening with this espherification that is liquid inside? That the shell allows the CO2 to get inside the espherification. As we open the bottle and the CO2 goes in, we wait a few minutes, we open. Already the air is out. Yep, it's aquí o aquí. Open it up. We open it up. No explosions anymore. And just to finish, we take very quickly. Okay. Looking at the camera, please. Yep. We open and we have the spherifications inside with all the carbonic inside every spherification. So when we serve it and we plate it in these spoons, ladies and gentlemen, with pure minimalism, with the traditional ingredients of the classic Tom Collins, we achieve the fissiness right inside. It's almost like a self-contained fissiness. Ladies and gentlemen, to end, Tom Collins, I'm José Andrés, and I was so proud to be here with you today.
Hello?